Jamie Lynn Spears, also known as Zoe 101 and Britney Spears' little sister, has not been making things turn in favor for herself, which seemed to be her motive with her new book titled Things I Should Have Said. But instead, it has cast an even darker shadow over her. Which, by the way, the book was initially allegedly titled, I Must Confess, Family Fame and Figuring It Out, which used a line from Britney's 1998 hit, Baby One More Time. What a way to bank off your sister once again. Although Jamie Lynn Spears denies this, saying, that was a mishap that happened, or that was just something they put for no one to really grab reference of my book. Which kind of just sounds like PR damage control. But if that actually was the initial name of her book, it's clear to see why they changed it. Because it only reinforces Britney's narrative that her family is money hungry and has been using her to bring money to the bank. Now I want to preface this by saying, Jamie Lynn and Britney Spears are sisters, so if Jamie Lynn is writing a book about her life, it is inevitable that she will talk about her sister in some form. However, it seems that Britney has become the entire selling point of this book, and it's kind of ridiculous and insensitive to go on an entire media campaign after your sister just got out of the most abusive and smothering situation of her life. I can't help but to feel this is very strategic to capitalize on the press Britney has been receiving recently. Britney Spears has always been a tabloid fixture. This is such a monumental time in her life. It seems like Jamie Lynn wants validation and wants people to understand her struggles as well. But I don't think going against the big sister who practically gave you a career will help you. It just kind of makes you seem like the money-hungry parasite your big sister has described you to be, just in much cleaner words. Now, Jamie Lynn did a big interview with Good Morning America, and the interview is very PR driven and sort of like a public image rehabilitation. At least that was what she was going for in my eyes. I don't really want to break down the entire interview, but there is one particular line that made everything she said feel much less sincere than what she's leading it on to be. And that is when she says, and I quote, Jamie Lynn is asked what was your reaction when the conservatorship was dissolved. Jamie Lynn says, I was happy. First off, I don't understand when it was put into place. I was 17 years old. I was about to have a baby, so I didn't understand what was happening, nor was I focused on that. I was focused on the fact that I was 17 years old about to have a baby. I understand just as little about it then as I do now. You don't understand the conservatorship, but you were so happy that it ended, yet you still have never congratulated her at least. Even her own co-stars have. And in 2020, it was reported that Jamie Lynn was actually named the trustee of Britney's SJB Revocative Trust back in 2018. According to US Weekly, the documents of Britney's trust were amended in 2018 to include Jamie as the trustee and were signed off by Andrew Wallet and father Jamie Spears, Britney's then co-conservators. However, Jamie Lynn's involvement in the fund was only made public in an August 2020 court filing. So you understand so little about the conservatorship that you signed off on being a trustee of her multi-million-dollar fortune. I just don't buy it. And this was an order that was also signed off by Britney's then co-conservators. So no, I don't think Jamie Lynn is as clueless to the conservatorship as she's leading on. She may not understand every single inner working, but she clearly has some type of understanding of what it was. Jamie Lynn uses the words erratic, paranoid, and spiraling to describe Britney's behavior throughout her young adulthood. And honestly, it comes across a bit exploitative. I'm not saying she's not allowed to talk about her experiences with her sister, whether good or bad. But in this climate, right after Britney is freed from a 13-year-long conservatorship, it seems to play into the circa 2008 she's crazy hysteria. With stories like this, people are going to feel that Britney's conservatorship and abuse was justified. And I don't think Jamie Lynn is oblivious to that. I just think she wants to clear her image by reinforcing narratives that have followed Britney since her breakdown. Britney has responded on social media numerous times since then. Anyways, the two things that did bother me that my sister said was how my behavior was out of control. She was never around me much 15 years ago at that time, so why are you even talking about that unless she wants to sell a book at my expense? Really? Then where the lady mentioned, why did she accuse you of doing remixes to her songs? I know it may sound like a silly thing to most people, but I wrote a lot of my songs and my sister was the baby. She never had to work for anything. Everything was always given to her. If you were me, you might understand asking for 13 years for remixes to go into a small venue show and on tours. 13 years later, they assigned me as the mother of all, Heart of Gold. Britney sitting there singing a 15-minute performance of everything I've ever wanted. But see, I always was the bigger person. They all got to do it and play me, and I always sat there and took it. But see, now it's a joke. The last thing I would ever do is ask for what was just given to her. So yes, they did ruin my dreams. I do remember asking my sister why she did that, when she knew I was waiting to change my show, and her only words were, "Well, it wasn't my idea. Hope your book does well, Jamie Lynn. I won't be doing Instagram for a while. The media of this business has always been extremely hateful to me. I've given enough, more than enough. I was never given back ever what I want. My family ruined my dreams 100 billion% and tried to make me look like the crazy one while I have a 104-degree fever not being able to move in my bed." Britney also said, "I wish the Almighty Lord would come down and show this whole world that you're lying and making money off of me. You are scum, Jamie Lynn." Britney also issued a cease and desist letter to Jamie Lynn to get her to stop talking about her. Britney also went on a rant where she basically said she felt Jamie Lynn was a spoiled younger sibling, their family wasn't as hard on Jamie Lynn, and Britney made all the money for the family. And she concluded the rant by saying, "I wasn't strong enough to do what should have been done. Slapped you and mama right across your faces." So there is a lot of anger here, and Britney also said that she loves her sister, but she doesn't appreciate the way her sister and family have treated her. And honestly, I wish they could work this out in private, but I do understand why Britney is publicly responding, because she feels the disrespect was brought to the public by Jamie Lynn. Although having a career and story of her own, about 99% of her interviews spent 99% of the time discussing her big sister. I don't think it's a reach to say that Britney is the selling point of her book. And honestly, I think it only further pushes Jamie Lynn into Britney's shadow. Now, before anything, they are sisters, so they have a connection that many outsiders or fans won't understand. Nobody really knows all the details, but seeing Britney's discontent with Jamie Lynn's stories, juxtaposed with Jamie Lynn saying she supports Britney and her being free and so on, then maybe, just maybe, using her to promote a book when she just left an abusive 13-year-long conservatorship isn't the brightest idea or a fine way to show support.